Well, good afternoon. Pastor Greg here, Faith Lutheran Church, Harvey, North Dakota, coming to you with my midweek message. I'm off a vacation, off a week of vacation, so thought I better get back at it. It is Thursday, the 7th of January, and of course the year now is 2021, and how wonderful it is to move into another year. Just reminds us all getting a little older and another turn of the calendar. But that's all right. It's all the way life goes, and so we're glad to participate in this process that the Lord wants us to be in. And so here I am. I want to say a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you for everyone who made our Christmas Eve worship service come off. We was a little concerned about the weather, about whether the candle lighting would work out, whether any children would come. And you know what? We had children. We lit the candles, and we all went outside, lined up on the ramp and the sidewalk, and sang Silent Night. It was dark out. It was cool. I think it was 11 degrees, but there was no wind. For North Dakota, there was no wind. And the beauty is that, as we went outside with our candles, some of the candles would go out, but people would light their candle from their own candle. So the light continued. And that was just beautiful to see. It was so incredible. So I was excited about how that worked. I want to thank Kevin Roller for filling in for me on vacation afterwards. And it was so fun because I always post the sermons, and I don't know if I've done mine from the 27th yet, but I listen to them. And he gave a wonderful presentation on the light. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm not gonna delve into the details here, but do. And again, thanks for Kevin for doing that for us. Thanks to the people, Wednesday evening Bible studies Bible school people. They've started back up last night. I think we had like 15 kids, so that was good. I know some of them were out of town, and some were traveling, and so I know that we didn't have everyone that we would normally have, but it's glad to see that. And so we're going to continue that for the foreseeable future. As always, we're watching the numbers, the COVID numbers, and we'll base all of our decisions on that. The restrictions they're easing the restrictions, or easing even the mask mandate is scheduled to go off. Whether you'll extend it or not, I'm not sure. Take it one day at a time. So anyway, that's where we are. Continuing with worship. We had a little blip with communion, but we're working that through. We're going to change the way we do that a little bit. Again, just bear with us as those decisions are made, and the way that things move on. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so that was that. What else? That's pretty much it. When I get back in the office, it always takes me a little while to catch up and to get back into the groove of things. And had a CDMA meeting. That's the Central Dakota Ministerial Association. Area pastors come together, and we are lucky enough to meet at St. Aloysius Church, Catholic Church, because we can't meet in the hospital, which is where we would normally meet. But they're really pushing through, trying to get some changes made there that fall within guidelines, and that visitations are opening up and stuff. And so hopefully we'll be able to get back into the facility as pastors again shortly. We're able to get in, by the way, just in case you don't know, for end of life kind of situations, we're able to get in and be with family and that person who's on their way out, or the way to be with the Lord. So that's always a good thing. And because we have it's a Catholic hospital, that they really push the ministry of medicine, not just medicine. So that's a blessing in disguise unto itself. So we're glad to have that. So that's really kind of where I am right now. I haven't really overly looked at at the texts yet for Sunday. Yet this is Baptism of our Lord Sunday. So we talk a lot about water. We talk a lot about what our baptism means to us and the importance of that baptism and how it interacts with our lives after we've been baptized and all of these things. And I would love to talk about that. But, really, after events of yesterday in the Capitol, events that have gone on over the last, really it's been longer, last 4 to 6 years, and even longer than that. I mean, I've seen plenty of this stuff in my life. I'm not that old, but I have seen enough to know that this isn't anything new. It's just more escalating. And so I remembered back, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago, when the riots and things were going, and I was at a loss for words then, and I'm at a lot of loss for words now. What can I say that won't upset somebody on either side? And a few months back, I in my sermon, I preached on the understanding of whose we are, that we belong to the Lord. Lord has claimed us in that same baptism that I was just talking about. He's claimed us. We're part of his community. We're part of his church. And we're called to love him because he did that. He doesn't need to do that. Why would he do that? Why would he pick me? Why would he pick me to be a pastor, to come and share this great ministry of the good news of Jesus Christ with you? Why would he do that? I mean, I'm just this guy. I don't like to write papers, I tell people, and I don't like to speak in front of people. And here I am. And people ask me, well, why are you here? It's because the Lord has put me here. Here's the thing. The first part of that law, it is law of loving God more than anything else, is what's so important. But to love your neighbor is right up there. It's not the most important, but it is right up there before anything else. And I spoke months ago about if we can't see our neighbor as God's creation, then we're just going to throw it away. And that looks different for everybody. It looks different for everybody. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. The fact is, if you can't see the person in front of you, no matter what they look like, no matter what they're doing, no matter how good they are or how bad they are, if you can't see them as God's creation, you can't even begin to work this through. I just stress to you over and over and over again the importance of understanding that all people are God's creation. That doesn't mean that you can go break into their store. That doesn't mean you could run into the Capitol. That doesn't mean you can do any of these things just because you want to. It all boils down to, would you want that done to you? That's where we are. I've seen terrible stuff on social media. I've seen terrible stuff on the news. And I've really pared down my news reading. I mean, I did that when I had done that before, but I really pared it down when this whole COVID thing started, because there was so much misinformation. I could no longer make sense of it, and then everything was negative. It was all bad. It still is, quite honestly. They keep telling us all the bad things that are happening in the world and nothing about the good things. The good thing is this, and believe me in this. Now, am I an expert in any of this? I am not. But what I do know is I know a lot of people. And a lot of people are just trying to live their lives in this world, loving the Lord and loving their neighbor. And you live in the middle somewhere, middle of the right and the left. whether that's good, bad, dark, evil, dark light, good, evil. I mean, whatever it is, most of us are just trying to figure out how we fit in, all in between that stuff. And so my question and my thoughts for you today are just this: to try your hardest to love your neighbor. We're called to pray for our enemies. We're called to do that. We're called to help our neighbor, and our neighbor might be our enemy. That doesn't mean we can be mean to them, because we don't want them to be mean to us. So live in the middle somewhere. Try to find the good in the world, because there's a lot of good going on. I think I wrote in my monthly newsletter article, there were baptisms, there were births, there was a lot of people saved, there were all these great things happening, and we weren't hearing about any of it. We don't hear about it anyway, but we weren't hearing any of it then. So, you know what? I've preached too long on this. I said to myself I was just going to say a few words, and I went way, way over that. So I apologize for that, but I just feel strongly that, it all boils down to loving God more than anything else. Loving your Lord, because he's done things for you, and he's going to do things for you that you can't even begin to imagine. And then love your neighbor, because he's a creature of God. All right, enough. So prayers. Pray for this country. That's it. Pray for the people. Pray for your neighbor. Pray for the person you don't like. Pray for people who need help. We're all there. We've all been there. We'll all continue to be there. So just continue to do that. Other than that, I got nothing else. I could go on forever with prayer lists and continued things. So just keep all of those people in your prayers, your leaders of your country, people who are dealing with medical things, people who are just trying to get by. Pray for them. Pray for the person who wants to live in the middle, because that's really where we need to be. With that, I say take care. Blessings to all of you, and I'm so glad to be back in the office, and I'm looking forward to seeing you as the days go on. Take care.